In this world of AAA games with huge budgets and studios with monumental staffing levels, it's hard to imagine that a successful video game beyond mobile apps could be made by just one person. But this used to be the most common way a game would be created. In the 1980s, bedroom programmers, mostly young teenagers, would largely work alone, and it's those solo working pioneers that paved the way for British gaming studios to become some of the most talented and recognised teams in the world today. And there are people out there still at it, sometimes dedicating years of their life to get their work out there. What follows is my top 5 games to be developed largely or entirely by one person. To say Fez was developed by one person might be bending the truth slightly, but the original partnership between creators Phil Fish and Sean McGrath came to a very public end early into the game's 5-year-long development. So the game we ended up with is very much the blood, sweat and tears of one guy. Fez is a traditional 2D platformer but set in a 3D world. The player can rotate the world around to gain new perspectives and unveil new paths for the character to take. It's absolutely mind-boggling on paper, but it's incredible how quickly your brain and imagination adjust to these rules and logic. It's a fantastic achievement in design, and I highly recommend the documentary Indie Game the Movie for anyone interested to find a more personal tale of how this game came to be. Fez may well not have come to exist if it wasn't for David Crane's 1982 game, Pitfall. Players take control of Pitfall Harry as he runs and jumps over a variety of obstacles in what many consider to be the origins of 2D side-scrolling platformers. A game that supposedly only took 10 minutes to design not only became one of the Atari 2600's most successful games, but also one of the most influential games of all time. And while a modern gamer would struggle to find much fun to be had here now, its legacy in gaming is cemented forever. Cave Story, another game developed over 5 years, is one of the most popular indie games of all time. Cave Story is a Metroidvania that tasks you with helping the plight of the Mimigmas, little rabbit-like creatures that are being brainwashed by an evil doctor. This plot is a very simple setup, but by the end of the game, thanks to the great writing and surprisingly memorable characters, you really do get invested in their struggle. The gameplay is absolutely spot on and the handling is extremely well polished. The game is out on most modern gaming formats at this point and is a must play for fans of the genre. After his grandfather passed away, developer Kangal started thinking about mortality and loss and regret and sat down to make a game about it. A year later we got To the Moon, which puts you in the role of a pair of doctors who are trying to grant the final wish of a dying man, Johnny, who wants to go to the moon. The thing is, Johnny can't remember why he wants to go there. This is the backbone of the game. The doctors hook Johnny up to a machine that allows them to travel through his memories that span his entire life, unravelling the mysteries of his existence and changing things to nudge him towards choices that will eventually lead him to go to the moon. I don't want to talk about the story too much as it's best experienced for yourself. It's a beautiful tale and to this day still the only game to ever make me cry. And besides a few art assets, all made by one man on RPG Maker, a very basic software package that anyone could use, To the Moon is a masterpiece that everyone should experience. At this point, Tetris is synonymous with gaming. I've played it, you've played it, even my nan loved it. The creation of Tetris is a tale worthy of its own spy movie. Made at the height of the Cold War in Soviet Russia by an unassuming mathematician, it's a fascinating story of espionage and deceit, and I really do recommend you look it up for more information. But the ubiquity of Tetris means I don't need to explain what Tetris is to you, you already know. It's a serious contender for the best game ever created, and it was all made by just one man, Alexei Pajitnov. Proof indeed that you don't need a lot of money and huge companies to change the world. Thanks again for watching it, and there are a huge number of games out there that were made by one man, especially in the British gaming in the 80s, Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy being some of my favourites, but also I missed out perhaps the biggest of them all, Minecraft, which I haven't played much of, which is why it isn't on this list, and also Stardew Valley I haven't put on this list because it's been on all my lists. So let me know your favourites in the comment section, give us a cheeky subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.